it's weird. I swear there are a ton of other, like, games in this game that I haven't seen. Probably. Like you see some glimpses of them in the little, like, game roulettes before, like, the game starts. I'm not sure if it's because I'm, like, inexperienced. They're like, ooh, no, we can't show such an inexperienced player this sort of thing. Alright, a full lobby. Okay, so I know that there is this, like, psychological concept that human minds like to try to look for and find patterns even if they do not exist. Like, our brains are particularly good at pattern recognition, which is very interesting because, like, computers, I think, are almost like the exact opposites. Anyways, but, like, pattern recognition is, like, one of our, like, strongest things as human beings, psychologically speaking. Which is why you can see, like, faces and, like, the wheel of, like, a car or something, because it's like, oh, it mildly looks like a face, and that faces are patterns that I'm hardwired to look out for. Therefore, anything that even mildly resembles one, I will store away in my memory as being a face. Okay, this is not boding well. We do not like being at the back of the pack here, because then we don't have a bunch of warm bodies to manipulate the seesaws for us. So we'd like to advance a bit quicker. That being said, I don't think we're at risk of not qualifying. Anyway, so like I was saying though, psychological concept that, human beings are pattern recognizing beings, so we, look for and find patterns even where they do not necessarily actually exist. Now that being said, it can't be a coincidence that we've seen Seesaw as our first game 3 times in a row. Like, you're right, Hot Dog, I'm sorry. Okay, guys, we gotta cooperate. Who's doing this? Okay, thank you. See, now we can go across. Alright, sometimes you gotta take a step back, evaluate the situation, make the required changes to your life before you can progress forward. Alright, sometimes you're in a place in your life and you're thinking, man, I need to go, like, pedal to the No! I need to go pedal to the metal, workaholic mode, and, like... Well, it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. Okay. And just, I don't have time for breaks. Santa Claus don't give no breaks. I need to just be an extra overachiever. All the effort that is humanly plausible to muster must be, like, sunk into this goal of mine. Okay. Oh, come on! Give us the pink. Okay, thanks. We might not qualify. No! No! Oh, this is getting... I can't do this alone! No! Guys! Just let me up! Really? This... I feel like I'm like... I don't even have an analogy for it. But it's as if, like, I was, like, walking into a building, maybe, like, a restaurant or something. And, like, I hold the door for someone. And like, oh, thanks. You know what I was? I was that guy. And we all know this guy. Well, we don't know this guy. But we all have seen this guy and been annoyed by this guy. Who's, you're driving. You're in traffic, okay? And you're on, like, a main, like, highway sort of road. And we got eliminated. And it was Dizzy Heights anyway, so what does it even matter? Why can't I quit on this specific screen? I get it's a loading screen, but I'm not participating is the thing. Anyways, but we've all seen this guy. You're driving along, you're in traffic, you're on a highway sort of road. And of course there's roads that come into the highway, right? And it's, friendly, decent, common courtesy to, at least every once in a while, especially if you're in, like, bumper-to-bumper traffic, you let someone in from the side road, okay? What I was just now is I was that guy, which, now granted, that's something nice to do. What you don't want to be is you don't want to be the guy that stops and lets, like, 6 cars out of the side road at once. Because, like, yeah, that's real nice, that's great for the people that you let onto the side road. But that's a real jerk move to all the people waiting behind you that now have to deal with 6 extra cars of traffic in front of them that they did not sign up for. So, yeah, in general, I say, try not to be that guy. You can't help it, sometimes you are the guy to the extent where you let one car through, and then, like, the guy behind him is, like, some sort of ninja that just, like, sneaks by and, like, claims his spot. But, in general, try not to let, like, half of the traffic from the side road in at once. Unless that's, like, the law somewhere. It might be. I'd hate it, but it might be. But that's what I felt like. I felt like I was that guy that was just sitting there in the bumper-to-bumper traffic, letting people in through the side road, and they're just like, oh, thanks for letting me through, and I just never got a chance to actually go myself. That last bit is tough. Without jumping. So I suppose in this, like, loading screen thing, it's probably a situation where there's a bottleneck where just the person with the slowest internet connection to be able to, like, load the thing is going to keep everyone else from getting through. I wonder if that's why loading times are so much worse in multiplayer games versus single player. Because, like, on single player, you just gotta load for yourself. On multiplayer, you gotta wait for the slowest person in the lobby to load it. Which can, be caused by a number of things, the slowness, whether that be inferior hardware. Granted, in a console environment, that's less likely to be the case, since, they're fairly standardized and fairly regularized. Granted, that's becoming less and less the case with all of, like, those, like, half-generation upgrades they did last time with, like, the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. Xbox One X? This is a whole other conversation, but I have to say, Microsoft, of all the gaming companies, Microsoft has, like, the big, like, console manufacturers, Microsoft is the one with, by far, hands down, the worst naming conventions for their consoles. Like, PlayStation's is boring, but concise, and you instantly know what it means. Nintendo's is a bit out there, and, honestly, it might help them if they had a bit more consistent branding between the consoles. But hey, they do their thing, that's fine, And it gives you some nice iconic names, like the Wii, the Switch, the GameCube. Notice which recent Nintendo console I left out of that list. But then you got Microsoft, and it's like, Xbox, great, I love it. It's simple, doesn't really mean anything, but it sounds cool, okay? Is it the extreme box, maybe? Who knows? And then you got the Xbox 360, which is like, I get that you have, like, circle motifs to an extent, because they had, like, the player indicators, was like the circles around the Xbox logo on the controllers, and yeah, I'll be honest, I don't really know besides that what they were going for with 360. But it was cool sounding, and, it was, Xbox was a number after it, so, like, makes sense, I guess. And then Xbox One is like, oh, come on! It's like Dizzy Heights, you hate to see it. It's just bad. Because it just, and I get what they're going for, it is, because they were like, Xbox One, the one device you need under your TV, or something stupid like that. But, like, it just makes things hard. It's like that one time they decided to call the new Battlefield game Battlefield 1. It's like, because, and now granted, I'll give them this. Technically speaking, the Xbox One was not a name that was already taken, because the first Xbox was not called the Xbox One, it was called the Xbox, because you never name the first thing in a series of things one, because that's way too presumptive. That's just tempting fate to, call your bluff, effectively. But the issue is you can't then name one of the successors the whatever one, because then one tacked onto the end of the name of the first thing, it becomes the de facto way people refer to it once it becomes an actual series, especially if the series retains the name of the first thing, just adding like subtitles or numbers to it. So you just can't do that because it's confusing. Like when I'm talking about the Xbox One, am I talking about the original Xbox or the Xbox One? Like, and by Xbox One, I mean the system that came out in like the early 2010s. Is as specific as I can be off the cuff with that. If I had to peg a year, like gun to the head, 2013. Okay, I need to stop falling on the first seesaw. Okay, I need to stop falling on the first seesaw twice in a row. It's pathetic and counterproductive, and now look at me. I'm back here with the rabble that are about to like fall off that blue seesaw. Somehow they're not falling off the blue seesaw. It's my time to shine. Okay. Anyways, what was I going on about? I think to an extent I was ranting about my distaste for the like mid-generation console refreshes. Which, I mean, I don't mind them that much, but like, it just seems like a waste to me. Like, I mean, here, I'll put it in terms that are a bit more relevant towards what I normally talk about on YouTube, which is a bunch of Nintendo stuff, because I'm not sure why. That's just kind of what has happened to be working out well for me. No! You know, actually, I'm gonna shut up for a second and actually focus here so we can, like, you know, qualify. Qualifying seems, to me at least. Now, this may be a revolutionary opinion. Here, I'm going to be the person standing on the edge here, and you all are gonna help me. Thank you. Here, balance it out. I dare you. Okay, well, I'm the lone survivor now. No! If only I could just perform just a tiny, slight little jump. Oh, what I wouldn't give for a jump right now. It's unlikely we qualify. Okay. No! No, I'm not doing this again. I am not helping you. You're helping me. Thank you. My friends! Okay, guys, we go this way now. We go this way. Okay. Finally. Is it just me or is this game getting harder? Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, right, yeah, I am very skeptical about the idea of a Switch Pro. On both counts, right? You have to be wondering, hey, CMeeCraft, do you mean you are skeptical as to whether or not it will actually exist, or are you skeptical as to whether or not it would actually be good? The answer is yes. I think it's a bad idea, and I don't think they're actually doing it. And I guess since it's a gaming channel now is when I rant about it. Okay, so here's my basic thesis, if you will. Firstly, like, what's the points from I guess, to put it more broadly, who is the market for this? Because it would seem to me that the super powerful, upgraded version of the Switch that can, like, run games in 4K or whatever they'll be shooting for, if they're doing it. And that's, you know, that would be directed, I would assume, at, you know, the hardcore gamers, the Switch enthusiasts and whatnot, right? who all already own Switches. So in this instance, you'd be trying to sell a product to a group of people that already have a product that is, for most intents and purposes, an equivalent product. At the very least, a reasonable substitute. Like, if they were to release a Switch Pro, I'll be honest, I might buy it, but that's only because I have a, like, professional reason to do so, right? As someone with, like, a YouTube channel that does Switch games on occasion, you know, it would be reasonable for me to upgrade, I suppose. Also, gold. But if I was just a normal gamer, no way am I getting the Switch Pro, right? I already have a Switch, and I can already run all the games. We qualified first! Yes! Take that, you fools! Anyways, so let's just watch Rich RCZ14, the Animus trainee, while we talk about the Switch Pro. But then the other issue is, like, these, like, mid-console refresh things, because, like, they've had them with, like, historical examples would be obviously the PlayStation 4 Pro, the Xbox One X, but then from the Nintendo side of things, you've got, like, the new 3DS, which I own 2 of, and the, I guess you could call the DSi that, and arguably the Game Boy Color. My point, though, is, generally speaking, with these things, there's so little, like, exclusive content to them, so little reason to upgrade that I question why. Like, I think the new 3DS might have, like, maybe a dozen games exclusive to it, so if, you know, you buy a console to buy the game to play games, then, like, why would you need to get why would you want to get the one to just give you access to, like, a dozen more games? And granted, I don't know that number off the top of my head. I could be wrong, who knows, maybe there's, like, 50 that I'm unaware of. But even so, I guarantee you a very small subset of 3DS games are specifically new 3DS games. And granted, a lot more of the games, I guess, are, like, enhanced on the better systems, you know, better load times, maybe higher resolutions. And granted, that's something the Switch could probably do pretty well, since I believe the Switch already does a lot of dynamic resolution scaling to begin with. So it'll, like, render things in, like, lower resolution when you're playing, like, on a handheld, or when you're on a more intense part of the game or something. And I won't deny, I mean, looking at this Fall Guys here, like, the Switch would not be harmed by being a bit more powerful, that's for sure. But also, like, it's doing okay, and we're getting so close to the end of the Switch's life. I feel like you release, like, a mid-generation refresh, and it's like, at that point, like, I'm trying to figure out where the happy medium is. Either there's such little reason to get it, you wonder what was the point, or there's so much reason to get it that you wonder, like, what's the point in not just framing this as just the new console generation? Right? I mean, I think the best thing for Nintendo to do is ride out the Switch for another... When did the Switch come out? 2017? Ride the Switch out for another year or two? And then release a Switch 2 that's got perfect backwards compatibility with the Switch. I mean, I think that's the best of both worlds there. It's less confusing. You know, you don't need to worry about carrying over all of the, like, worst... Any, like... You know, you get a fresh start and stuff. Like, I think that's just a better way to go about it, honestly. Especially once you already have the OLED. I mean, for the people who are still saying that the Switch Pro is coming, let me ask you this question. Do you really think Nintendo is so tone deaf as to release the OLED, what was that, last year? And then maybe, because I mean, clearly the Switch Pro, if it was coming out, isn't coming out this year. So you released the OLED, which is supposed to be a more expensive version of your console for enthusiasts last year. And then you turn around, like, 2 years later and say, oh, ha ha ha, just joking. That wasn't actually our better console for the enthusiasts. This is. And then you release a Switch Pro. And then And keep in mind, at this point, the Switch would be, what? And it's 2022 now. If we assume it releases in 2023, then the Switch would be, by that point, almost 7 years old. Come on, guys. We qualified Jump Club! Ha! How? I don't know how that happened, but I am thrilled. In case you couldn't tell. And to think, when that came up, I was ready to just, like, quit. The Swiveler. It's okay, I mean, if we survive Jump Club, maybe we can survive the Swiveler too. Anyway, but the point being, you think they're going to release the Switch Pro 2 years after the OLED, be like, haha, just a joke. You weren't actually supposed to buy the OLED. Here's the new, real, expensive Switch for enthusiasts. And then, like, a year, 2 years later, they release, like, the Switch 2, and then they're like, haha, just a joke. We weren't planning on supporting that long term. Now here's the Switch 2, which is what you really want to buy. Like, I don't know. Doesn't seem like the most savvy business decision. We qualified somehow! Oh my goodness, we do not deserve this in the slightest, and yet here we are. I think going to the finals. Qualifying the Jump Club and then the Swiveler, and what final do we have for me to crush these other people in? Anyways, if you disagree about the Switch Pro, leave your comments in the comments. Have a discussion in the comments, that sounds a bit better. Alright, don't let the nerves get the best of you. Act like you've been there. Roll off. Exactly what I wished to see. Because I'm great at roll on. Naturally, I should win this. And then the series will be over and we'll all be happy and I can start writing the script for the main channel video. Only 7 of us here. Let's go. Okay. Okay, so how are we going to... This is going to be an exercise in camera management. Because the camera perspective that'll be best for orange is like the opposite that's best for when you're on blue. Okay. One has already been eliminated, apparently. Sweet. Right, this is our shots. I think we go past the wall here. Two eliminated. Okay, we're on the easy part. Hooray. Okay. Three eliminated. This is a risk. Okay. Is it just me or is the slime getting higher? Okay. My heart is beating so fast right now. Four eliminated. Oh. Just stay close to the edge. Don't overcommit. Ah. Die already, you fools! No! Show off with your jumping. Oh, we were so close! What the? Ah, Assassin's Creed. Gotcha. My heart is still pounding, honestly. I mean, that was not a bad showing. All in all.